Welcome to my channel. Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a simple penny, something so common that most people wouldn't think twice about it. Now, imagine discovering that this ordinary-looking coin isn't ordinary at all, but instead, it's worth a staggering $154,000. This is the story of the 2006 USA 1-cent penny, a coin that has captivated collectors and historians alike, not just for its monetary value, but for the fascinating journey that led it to become one of the most prized modern coins in American numismatic history. To understand the true value of the 2006 penny, we need to go back in time and explore the humble beginnings of the United States 1-cent coin. The penny has been a part of American currency since 1793, with each iteration reflecting changes in political ideologies, technological advancements, and societal values. By 2006, the penny had long been established as a symbol of everyday American life, often overlooked, dropped on sidewalks, and left in tip jars. But that year, something unusual happened, something that would turn one particular penny into a collector's dream. The Denver Mint, one of the key production facilities for United States coins, was in full operation in 2006. Known for its high standards and vast output, the Denver Mint had produced billions of coins over the decades. That year, the 1-cent penny still bore the image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design first introduced in 1909 to commemorate Lincoln's 100th birthday. The reverse side featured the Lincoln Memorial, a design in use since 1959. These were not rare features. In fact, they were perhaps the most familiar aspects of American coinage at the time. So, what made this particular 2006 penny so valuable? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, minting errors, and pristine condition. In the world of numismatics, it's often the unexpected anomalies that create the most buzz. During the minting process, machines strike blank metal discs with incredible precision to imprint the coin's design. Occasionally, however, something goes wrong. A die may be misaligned, a blank may be of the wrong composition, or an overpolishing of the die might obscure key details. These errors are usually caught in quality control, but every now and then one slips through. The 2006 penny in question is believed to possess a unique combination of such errors. Some reports suggest a double die on the obverse, where Lincoln's profile appears slightly doubled, a subtle but highly prized error among collectors. Others note unusual surface characteristics, such as an extremely glossy finish that suggests a possible experimental or transitional planchet was used. These anomalies, while minute to the untrained eye, make a world of difference in value. Condition is another critical factor. This coin was discovered in an astonishing state of preservation, graded as MS69 by Professional Coin Grading Services. For context, MS or mint state is a scale that ranges from 60 to 70, with 70 being a flawless, perfectly struck coin with no visible imperfections even under magnification. An MS69 grade means the coin is virtually perfect, with only microscopic blemishes. In the coin collecting community, finding a modern penny in such high grade is extraordinarily rare. As word of this coin's existence spread, it ignited a firestorm of interest. Collectors and investors began combing through their own collections and even their pocket change, hoping to find a similar treasure. Coin shows and online auctions saw a surge in demand for high-grade 2006 pennies, and numismatic forums lit up with speculation and analysis. What exactly caused the peculiar features of this coin? Could there be more out there? Was this a one-time mistake or evidence of a short-lived experimental run at the Denver Mint? Theories abounded. Some experts speculated that a small batch of pennies may have been struck using a different alloy, perhaps in preparation for a future change in coinage composition. Others believed it was the result of a maintenance error, where a die was reinstalled incorrectly or overpolished to the point of altering the design details. Still others thought it might be a rare strike on a foreign planchet accidentally mixed in with the standard penny blanks. Each theory added another layer of intrigue to the story. What is undisputed is the sheer magnetism of this coin within the collector community. Stories of people finding valuable coins in pocket change have always held a certain romantic appeal, the idea that wealth could lie in plain sight. The 2006 penny exemplifies this perfectly. It's a modern coin, produced in recent memory, yet it has achieved a mythical status usually reserved for century-old rarities. The coin's rise in value was meteoric. Originally worth just 1 cent, it was graded and authenticated, then placed in auction where a bidding war ensued. Collectors with deep pockets and a keen eye for numismatic potential recognized its worth. The hammer finally dropped at $154,000, a record-breaking price for a modern-era penny. For the buyer, it wasn't just a purchase. It was an investment in history, a chance to own a tangible piece of American minting lore. But the story doesn't end there. The discovery of the 2006 D penny has had ripple effects across the numismatic world. It has sparked renewed interest in error coins and modern issues, encouraging both seasoned and novice collectors to look more closely at the change they handle every day. Coin grading services have reported increased submissions of 2006 D pennies, as people hope to find another in equally pristine condition. Dealers and auction houses now treat high-grade modern coins with a new level of respect. Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of this story is its accessibility. Unlike rare gold coins or colonial-era currency, which are often locked away in museums or private collections, the 2006 D penny began its life in circulation. Could have passed through hundreds of hands before being noticed. Its humble origins make its transformation into a 6-figure treasure all the more remarkable. So, the next time you find a penny on the ground, think twice before dismissing it. The world of coin collecting is filled with surprises, and history has shown that sometimes the most ordinary items can turn out to be extraordinary. The 2006 D penny is a testament to that possibility. A 1-cent piece that tells a story of error, rarity, perfection, and immense value. And who knows, the next great discovery might be sitting in your pocket right now. Imagine walking into a small coin shop tucked away on a quiet street, the kind with a creaky wooden floor and display cases lined with rows of glinting coins. Among these treasures, a seemingly unremarkable 1983 D 1-cent penny catches your eye. The small, copper-colored, and familiar. But what if this little coin was actually worth an astonishing $134,000? This is not a myth or a collector's dream. It's a true story of how a common-looking coin transformed into one of the most sought-after pieces in modern American numismatics. The journey of the 1983 D penny begins decades earlier. The U.S. 1-cent coin has a long, storied history, tracing its roots back to 1793. Over the centuries, the penny has seen numerous changes in design, composition, and minting techniques. By the early 1980s, the United States Mint was undergoing a major transition due to rising copper prices. In 1982, a significant shift occurred. The composition of the penny was changed from 95% copper and 5% zinc to a primarily zinc core with a thin copper plating. This change was economical but also laid the groundwork for confusion, transitional errors, and in some cases, rare and valuable anomalies. 1983 was the first full year that all circulating pennies were officially struck using the new zinc composition. However, as with any major change, there were hiccups. The Denver Mint, responsible for producing the 1983 D pennies, was one of several facilities adapting to the new process. While most 1983 D pennies are completely unremarkable, just standard zinc coins plated with copper, a few were different. These few were not only minted with unusual precision but potentially struck using leftover copper planchets or exhibited unique minting errors that made them extraordinary. One of the most fascinating elements of the 1983 D penny's story lies in its design. Like other Lincoln memorial cents, the Obverse features the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln, a design first introduced in 1909 by sculptor Victor David Brenner. This side of the coin remained virtually unchanged, a comforting constant in a world of evolving coinage. The reverse displayed the Lincoln Memorial, a design created by Frank Gasparo in 1959 to commemorate Lincoln's enduring legacy. It was clean, symmetrical, and deeply American. These familiar visuals belied the extraordinary value hidden within a handful of 1983 D coins. So what makes a particular 1983 D penny worth 6 figures? The answer lies in a combination of factors: minting anomalies, metal composition, and near-flawless condition. One known reason for certain 1983 D pennies' value is a composition error. Despite the official transition to zinc, Some coins were accidentally struck on copper planchets left over from prior years. These errors are extremely rare and often hard to detect without specific testing equipment, such as a precise scale or X-ray fluorescence analysis. A copper penny weighs 3.11 grams, whereas the newer zinc version weighs only 2.5 grams. This slight difference can mean the world to a seasoned collector. Another contributor to value is the presence of a doubling error, where design elements like the date or lettering appear duplicated due to a misalignment in the die striking process. Though double die errors are more commonly associated with other years, reports of such anomalies on certain 1983 D pennies have surfaced, further enhancing their mystique and market value. A coin exhibiting both a composition anomaly and a striking error becomes a veritable unicorn. Unbelievably rare and incredibly valuable condition, of course, is paramount. A circulated 1983 D penny with wear and tear will hardly raise an eyebrow. But one preserved in pristine condition, graded at MS67 or higher by a professional coin grading service, can be a game changer. The coin in question, the one that sold for an eye-popping $134,000, was just such an example. With a surface virtually untouched by time or handling, it showcased crisp details, brilliant luster, and an undeniable aura of rarity. News of this coin's sale sent ripples through the numismatic world. Coin collectors and enthusiasts began re-examining their own collections, scouring their pocket change, and posting on forums in search of clues. Could there be more out there? Was this a one-off fluke or the tip of a hidden iceberg of valuable 1983 D pennies? The excitement was palpable, driving increased interest in all pennies from the early 1980s and fueling a renaissance in coin collecting. The Denver Mint's role in this story adds another layer of intrigue. Known for its rigorous standards and high output, the Denver facility rarely lets anomalies escape. The idea that even a few rare coins could slip through suggests how complex and nuanced the minting process really is. Every step, from preparing planchets to striking and quality control, must work in perfect harmony. A slight deviation, a misplaced planchet, a worn die, a moment of misalignment, can result in a coin that defies all odds and expectations. Collectors cherish these deviations because they are physical evidence of imperfection within a system designed for perfection. The 1983 D penny, in this sense, becomes more than just currency. It becomes a historical artifact, a testament to a specific moment in minting history, and a tangible piece of a larger narrative. It tells a story not just of value but of human ingenuity, technological evolution, and the ever-present potential for discovery. What's particularly thrilling is how accessible this story is. Unlike coins that were minted in the 18th or 19th centuries, often locked away in museums or passed down through generations, the 1983 D penny is a modern relic. It might be hiding in a forgotten piggy bank, languishing in a drawer, or rolling around in a change jar. This accessibility adds a sense of democratic excitement to the hunt. Anyone, from seasoned numismatists to curious beginners, could stumble upon a hidden gem that as collectors know, provenance matters. The $134,000 1983 D penny wasn't just any coin. It came with verified grading, authenticated composition, and a documented history that substantiated its extraordinary value. Such rigor ensures that buyers aren't just purchasing a piece of metal but investing in a verified artifact. These high-stakes sales are typically handled by elite auction houses, where bidding wars erupt between passionate collectors, driving prices into the stratosphere. The cultural impact of the 1983 D penny's rise in value can't be overstated. It has rekindled interest in modern coinage, prompted educational outreach by numismatic organizations, and even inspired a new generation of collectors. It's a reminder that history is not confined to textbooks or museums. Sometimes, it jingles in your pocket. Imagine the emotional roller coaster of the individual who discovered this six-figure coin. Perhaps it began with a casual glance, a curious thought, a moment of wondering if that slightly heavier penny was different. The journey from curiosity to confirmation would have involved research, consultation, and professional grading. The eventual realization that this small, ordinary object was actually worth more than a luxury car must have been nothing short of exhilarating. This is the magic of coin collecting. It's a pursuit that combines history, artistry, economics, and a dash of mystery. The 1983 D penny embodies all these elements, standing as a symbol of what's possible when attention to detail meets the thrill of discovery. It proves that the world is still full of hidden treasures, waiting to be found by those with the eyes to see and the heart to look. So the next time you find a penny in your pocket, pause before you toss it aside. Flip it over. Look closely. Weigh it if you must. Because while most 1983 D pennies are worth just a cent, there's a story out there, a true story, of one that became worth $134,000. And perhaps, just perhaps, another like it is out there waiting to be found by someone just like you. Picture this. You're sorting through a small jar of coins that's been sitting untouched on a shelf for years. Most of what you find is routine nickels, dimes, a few tarnished quarters. But then you spot a penny that seems just a bit different. Its color, its shine, perhaps even its weight feels slightly off. You flip it over, examine the date, and see the year 1984 stamped just beneath the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln. It's just another old penny, right? Or is it? What if that very penny, modest and overlooked, is actually worth an incredible $176,000? This is not a fairy tale or a collector's exaggeration. This is the true story of the 1984 USA 1-cent penny, a coin that has defied its face value in every way imaginable. It's a testament to the unexpected treasures that can still be found in everyday life and a remarkable chapter in the broader saga of American numismatics. To appreciate why this particular coin has captured so much attention, we have to delve into the background of the United States 1-cent piece. Since its first minting in 1793, the penny has gone through numerous iterations, both in design and composition. By 1984, the penny had been well established as an enduring symbol of American currency. Featuring the stoic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, and the stately Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, crafted by Frank Gasparo, the penny was at once familiar and historic. The 1980s were a time of transition for U.S. coinage. In 1982, due to the rising cost of copper, the U.S. Mint changed the composition of pennies from 95% copper to a core of 99.2% zinc coated with 0.8% copper. By 1984, all circulating pennies were officially zinc-based. This switch in materials not only changed the feel and weight of the penny but also opened the door for new types of minting errors and anomalies, some of which would later prove to be incredibly valuable. Among the millions of 1984 pennies struck by the U.S. Mint, a few stood out for reasons not immediately obvious to the casual observer. It was during this year that a now-famous error entered the numismatic lexicon, the 1984 doubled-ear Lincoln cent. On this rare variety, a doubling of Lincoln's ear is clearly visible to the trained eye. It wasn't the usual wear and tear or damage. This was a true die error, a result of a slight misalignment during the hubbing process when the die was created. The doubling is subtle, but once spotted, it's unmistakable. This error, though small, has enormous implications in the collector community. True doubled die coins are rare, and the 1984 doubled ear cent quickly gained a reputation as a must-have item among collectors. But rarity alone doesn't determine value. To reach a six-figure price tag, a coin also has to be in exceptional condition. That's where the next part of the story comes in. The most valuable 1984 penny known to date was discovered in virtually flawless condition. Graded at MS68 red by a professional coin grading service, this penny was near perfect. The red designation is given to copper-based coins that retain at least 95% of their original reddish color, a trait that can be lost to oxidation and handling over time. For a coin that has been in circulation for decades, retaining such vivid coloration is extraordinarily rare. When this particular 1984 penny went up for auction, the anticipation was electric. Word had already spread among collectors that this was not just another error coin. It was a pristine example of a rare variety with all the right factors for astronomical value. Bidders from around the world joined the fray, each hoping to secure a piece of minting history. The final sale price? A jaw-dropping $176,000. This moment sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. Suddenly, the 1984 penny was no longer a quiet background player in the world of coin collecting. It was a star. collectors began to re-examine their own collections. Online forums buzzed with speculation. Could more doubled-ear pennies be out there, sitting unnoticed in coin jars and dresser drawers? Was this just the beginning of a broader discovery wave? The allure of the 1984 penny goes beyond just the money. It taps into something more profound, the thrill of discovery. Unlike rare colonial coins or gold pieces that are often locked away in private collections, the 1984 penny is something that anyone might find. This presence in circulation means that it's not entirely out of reach. You don't need to be a millionaire or a museum curator to own one. You just need a sharp eye, a bit of luck, and maybe a magnifying glass. Collectors have always valued error coins because they tell stories. They reveal the imperfections in an otherwise precise and controlled system. Each minting error, no matter how small, is a tiny rebellion against uniformity, a glimpse behind the curtain of the minting process. The 1984 doubled-ear penny tells a particularly fascinating story. It speaks to a moment in time when new minting technologies were being implemented, when the transition to zinc planchets was still fresh, and when quality control standards were adjusting to new machinery and procedures. Adding to the intrigue is the Denver Mint's reputation for high output and precision. Though most of the notable doubled-ear varieties were struck in Philadelphia, any mint can produce rare anomalies, and even minor differences in die usage can lead to collectible variations. The possibility of a Denver-struck 1984 error penny existing has only added to the frenzy, with collectors eager to find the next big discovery. What makes this narrative even more compelling is how democratic it is. The notion that a penny, a coin so commonly discarded or ignored, could be worth more than a luxury vehicle or a year's salary is inspiring. It challenges our perceptions of value and reminds us that hidden gems can be found in the most mundane places. The story of the 1984 penny is, at its core, a story of hope, curiosity, and the enduring magic of numismatics. Professional coin graders and auctioneers now treat 1984 pennies with a new level of respect. Every piece is weighed, measured, and examined under high magnification. Even the subtlest hint of doubling or unusual coloration can trigger a flurry of interest. Coin shows often feature entire panels dedicated to discussing modern era coins, and the 1984 penny invariably takes center stage. Meanwhile, numismatic organizations have taken the opportunity to educate the public about error coins and the importance of proper grading. The story of the 1984 penny is often used in presentations and workshops as an example of why even the most common coins deserve a second look. For many, it has sparked a lifelong interest in coin collecting, transforming casual observers into passionate hobbyists. Imagine the excitement of someone who unknowingly possessed one of these rare pennies for years, perhaps tucked away in a change jar or kept as a lucky token. The moment of realization, the discovery that this tiny, copper-colored coin is actually worth $176,000, is one that defies words. It's a moment of awe, disbelief, and uncontainable joy. This, ultimately, is the power of the 1984 penny. It is a symbol of possibility. It shows us that extraordinary things can be hidden in plain sight, waiting to be recognized and appreciated. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who just enjoys sorting through spare change, the story of the 1984 penny is a reminder to stay curious, to keep looking, and to never underestimate the value of the seemingly ordinary. Because somewhere out there, maybe even in your pocket right now, lies a penny with a doubled ear, a bright red luster, and a history just waiting to be discovered. And if you're lucky enough to find it, you could be holding not just a coin, but a treasure worth $176,000.